Hi there, thank you so much for clicking on my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very soft eyeshadow look like you can see on my thumbnail, and also skin before brows. So I'm prepping our skin by cleansing first, and then I moisturize that lips because I don't want it to be chapped, and it has to be moisturized properly before I start my look. So I started with moisturizer. I moisturized that face with this Cetaphil moisturizer. Is skin friendly, any skin type can use it. So now I went to wash my hand and massaged this into her skin, and I left it to dry for a bit, and then I went back in with my, she was enjoying this massage so much she told me not to stop. I wish I could play, like I wish you could hear what she was saying. But then I went in with my Zico hydrating primer. I kept it in her T-zones and I distributed it to every other place because I wanted our face to be like well moisturized. I like using hydrating moisturizers for people that have dry skin. But then she said that T-zone was always oily, so I used that Pond's primer to just lock it in. I didn't use something too mattifying, and Pond's primer is actually the go-to when I don't want to use something that is too mattifying. So now I did a foundation. I used Adventure products. I think I mixed ebony and golden toffee together to get this shade. So I blend my foundation from the edge, from every edge, then I move my way forward, and then I cover the whole face basically. And then I like after I blend with my brush, I always use a beauty blender. So my model today is very goofy. I don't know if you've seen one of our looks together. I did a golden eyeshadow for her. She's a very goofy person. If you guys heard our conversations and everything that we're talking about, God, it's going to be so funny. But for the purpose of this video, I didn't want it to be long, so I just cropped all those spaces and made it a bit fast. So I'm going in with my Zico highlights, Zico concealer rather. I'm using it for highlight. I kept it just in the inner tear dot and the the nose. So for the outer part of her eyes, of her face, under eyes, I use this Zico concealer also in nude. So I'm using that for at the top of her forehead, at the bridge of her nose, chin. Yeah, basically you can see what I'm doing in the video. So I went in with my contour. My model is supposed to do a transition after this. If you want to see it, please check on my Instagram. It's going to be in the description box, or I can just add it at the end of this if it's not going to get a copyright. So I'm going in with my blush. I'm using this dark red, or is it wine, with this nude. I don't even know what color that is, but like maybe peach nude or something for a blush. And I picked that color because she's dark skinned and it works well. Like I like the warm tone it gives for dark skinned people. So I put my contour first, then I put my blush just at the top of my blush. And then when I'm blending my concealer, I start blending from the dark colors because you don't want to transfer your bright colors. You don't want to blend your bright colors first, and then when you're trying to blend the darker shade, everything will not be a mess. It will go into each other. I don't know if you get what I mean. Like it will become a big mess because now your highlight, the one that is lighter, will not enter the darker shade. So it's best to just blend in all the darker highlights before going into the very bright one. So I'm going to always tell my model or my client to look up at the ceiling while I blend, because it's easier to blend all the crease lines and everything. And I set the face with this S-Pon. I used it to just set that under eye. I applied it lightly. When I'm doing the other hand, you will see once you feel like the product you're packing on the face is too much, you can just reduce it a bit by putting it on your hand. Look, I transferred it and buffed a bit out on my hand because I'm not trying to make the under of her eyes heavy. I'm just trying to set it so that it doesn't move and she doesn't have crease lines. So before you blend your highlights, always tell your client to look up so you blend the crease line and they can keep looking up till you're done. So I went in with this Bihar contour palette. It is in deep dark. God, it gave me so much problems. I felt like since she was dark skinned, this would work for her because the contour I used first, it was a bit like in her shade. So when I was doing this other side, I tried to be careful so that it will not make a big mess like it did in the other side. So this second palette is the medium dark. I use deep dark for the cheek area, but I'm using medium dark for forehead because I don't want it to cast too much shadows. I don't want that to, like, this particular contour palette is so pigmented, so I tried to use the other medium dark instead of deep dark for our forehead. And I'm using medium dark also for our nose bridge because I always use a darker contour for the cheek and then a lighter one for the nose. So I went in with my Nuban setting powder in Sienna. I'm just going to be using that to bake, just the way I set her face with that S-Pond powder. I'm doing the same. So now while I'm doing this one, I'm cutting, like I want to chisel I want to cut the nose, like, so it can be slimmer basically. So the middle of the nose, I didn't put too much product. Either ways, I'm moving on to the eyes. I did my brows behind camera because I didn't want this video to be unnecessarily long, so I used my Clown White eyeshadow base. Then I set the brow bone, the brow area, with this powder, this V Beauty powder, and I'm using that shade that is just in the middle of chestnut, and I don't remember the other color. So this is my Everbeauty eyeshadow palette, and you can see the color that I use. I just use that for transition. Then I realized, oh, I want this to go to my outer V as well, so I'm blending those colors together with the brush I used for to blend my brow bone the other time. So I went back in to pat with the brush I used to blend out my oh god, this thing is so fast. I went back in with the brush that I used to blend my primer, and then I kept that very cute nude color on the lid. So for my lashes, I usually do lash glue on the lid, but this time I decided to just put it directly on a lash line, and it actually held my lashes. Like, even after I sprayed, it did not move. So I feel like I recommend that particular way of doing your lashes. So I just applied it on the lash line, and then it didn't even take a long time to get tacky, and I just put my lashes in. So I'm using this Honest eye pigment from MK on Instagram. You can check them out. So for the lips, I'm using lip lock from Adventure, and this is all the lip locks that I use. And then for the gloss, these are the two glosses I use, Usher's and Coal, or I don't remember the name, but something like that. So I use this brown in Cocoa for lips, and then I applied those other colors in the middle. This is the nude, pink nude. I realized that my model is dramatic, you guys must have seen. I realized that color that I used for the to line the lips, that brown, it wasn't so vibrant for her, and the lips wasn't popping. So I went into this Eye Magic palette to touch the nude that is on it, whether it to come out, like whether it to blend more, because I was trying to do like a very soft pink lips. I didn't want it to be too much, I didn't want it to be everywhere. So basically I now went back into that palette to use the brown, because the brown was, I think, a bit darker compared to Adventure's Cocoa. So I just used that. Apparently using just Eye Magic will make the lip run. I didn't realize that until I was looking at the videos after, and I'm like, oh, this lips didn't give what I wanted it to give. But then if you want to go for a very soft one, a very soft lips, I think I still advise this. So I'm using my CPD Extraordinaire blush. I took the purple and that light pink. I use those shades for dark skin, because look at how it gives this cheek warmth. Like, it's not crazy. If I'm using a blush that I use for light skin for dark skin, it becomes crazy. But you have to choose colors that are not so bright like that, only if you can walk away anyway. So I'm pinching my brush because I don't want it to get into her eyes, and I'm doing our overall powder now with this V Beauty palette in maroon. I hope you guys have learned a thing or two. If you've gotten to this stage, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I don't know. So I went in with this cheek glaze from TM Essentials. She's like really dark, so it didn't show. I should have just used a darker cheek glaze for but yeah, I'm going to spray now with this Kiss Beauty. So in this place, I told her to not squeeze her face. Whenever I'm spraying, I tell my models not to squeeze, and they should not open their eyes till it melts into their skin. So after that dried for a bit, I use this Edgar and Esther highlight palette, this color for a nose bridge, and then I put the leftover in that place. So I switched my brush and I did a highlight for a cheek. Look at that color. No, it was popping. It's just the excess that I'm taking to the brow bone because I don't want it to be like crazy. I don't want the thing to be so crazy. So yeah, this is the end of the look. I hope you guys liked it. If you want to see the tutorial of this turban, it's also in my videos. I can put the link in the description box. Please don't forget to like this look. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
But when I do decide to give you a little a little shink, a little room, school, don't call me.